Holy jeez, what a week of writing. Holy cow. If you've been following with me, we kind of came into all kinds of, revelation or just the structure of how this whole thing's going to go together. And just as a side note, happens to be today, I have 333 subscribers on this channel. Cage for Mechanic has 222 subscribers on that. I just got a call from this other big project that, they've been trying to recruit me for, and everything got accepted, and we're getting ready to be, everything's just kind of falling into place in alignment, and everything's in a really good shift, and it feels really good. And so, this week with this book, we figured out, we kind of knew some metafiction stuff was going to start happening. We knew there was going to be this book within a book. And so we knew that was going to be that philosophical adventure novel. And then we kind of, just staying present in that moment and there with you guys on those short videos, opening up just paragraph at a time and sentence at a time. Then we realized that there's a book outside of that book too, right? So there's the book within a book. And so then we have the third person narrative that's this philosophical adventure novel. But then we have me who's writing that book. And so then we can dig into some of these philosophies and the spiritual meanings maybe to some of the stuff that's happening within that 3 dimension, and we can mirror things that are happening within this external realm, and then how that mirrors into the material space of this other book. And so then we realized that there was a book outside of that, and you step out of, and instead of me only having to be able to share that insights of that here with you guys in these videos, I'm going to be sharing those insights from this other perspective, that this person was writing the book that was me, that is writing the book within a book. And then the next page, jump back into that middle, that now, that present, and realize that was the person that's not only writing the book within the book, but they're also the one writing the book outside of the book, writing the book from that perspective of the person that's able to break down all of the things that are going on, because the way that I write, a lot of words and a lot of maybe hidden meaning, or a lot of double meanings to words, or using words in a different context where it has another subtle different meaning, or maybe it could be read 3 or 4 different ways depending on where you're at in your spiritual journey and your timeline. And so this other external perspective is not going to be written in this sing-songy, wishy-washy, could be interpreted. It's going to be breaking down and explaining, this is what this means, or this is what this could mean, or this is what this meant as I was writing this. And then we find out that is actually also being written from the person that's within. So the person within that book is writing a book on the outside and writing a book on the inside. And then just today, we got into actually writing the book on the inside, And so, holy geez, what a ride, which was the words from the very beginning of the book from that other perspective. Holy geez, what a ride, he said to no one in particular. He'd certainly been on one heck of an adventure and lived to write the book about it. Several, in fact. So now we find that this book within a book is not only some book where we can talk about all these things in an adventure fiction narrative, but it is actually obviously going to also be me as the author, as the who knows how it's going to go. And so I've not really been planning this ahead. I've been sharing with you guys on short videos every time I write a sentence or a paragraph, or it's been a little bit different, but every time I write that, I share that with you kind of immediately before I know where the next one's going. And which has always been my process, not sharing it with videos, but writing wise, I maybe have an outline or kind of have an idea of where some things are going. But as far as the writing and the message and the spiritual nature of things, and the spirit that's flowing through me as I'm letting that ink flow through the pen, I've never really planned that stuff out too much. And I write that sentence and then it pours through me. It's blown my mind what is poured through me, and it's been transformational as I'm like allowing the downloads to pour through. And a lot of times I may have a concept of some spiritual philosophy thing that I think I'm getting to at the end is going to be in the last paragraph, last chapter, and that ends up pouring out in the first, and then more things, it just expands and expounds. And so that's even what's happening here. I went ahead and even just in this outside perspective discuss how we're going to be able to see how the author penning the page and their emotional intent is then reflected into that 3-dimensional realm, just as your higher self out in this other spirit world, and then yourself here, your meat body suit self here in this material space. It's, you can slug through and try to fix things here in this material space, but that's only fixing the symptom, that's only fixing the result of the cause. Aligning yourself in that spiritual way, aligning yourself to that higher self, to follow in that guidance, that's how you are able to manifest, the abundance here in this material space. You could slug through and have to do things, the hard way, only by using material items to move material items. And you can build a house that way, you can build community, you can build a life that way, but it takes a lot more work. And when you're doing it on that energetic realm, on that other dimension, on that author dimension, it takes hardly any effort. You can just write a sentence, and now you have everything, that I can, from the author realm, write that sentence, and real quick, the person that's inside of that book has everything that they need. And so who knows how it's going to even come together with this other realm outside of that. Anyway, that's enough for all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited about this new work opportunity. I'll kind of share some more of that as that all comes together. And yeah, 333 subscribers on this channel and 222 on the K3 Mechanic channel. That's pretty neat for just a day where everything seems to be falling in alignment. And I've been doing a lot of work, inner work, and nervous system work, and it's all paying off. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful rainy day out here to be sitting with this tree. Love you, bub.